I'm a man of my word, so your fucking head's better not. I'ma fuck around in this bitch and roast everybody. Sleep on me, that pillow is where your head a lot. Permanently bitches petty by. This club is my Easter egg, yeah, prepare to die. My head is small, my confidence is off the stage. It's my pedestal, I'm unstoppable, incredible. Hulk, you're trapped in my medicine ball. I can run circles around you so fast your fucking head is spin, dog. I split your cabbage and your lettuce.
Don't slide and fuck your boyfriend, bitch. I want some ass tonight. Just know my ski on Alizé and Cristal weed. Sure you heard of all the freaky shit they say about me. But all you busters is jealous. Pull your gun out, blast. I dare you niggas to open fire. I murder that ass and disappear before the God come running. My Glock spitting rounds, niggas falling down, clutching their stomach. This west side death row. Love niggas on the rise, but the shot me 5 times. Real niggas don't die. Can you hear me? Laced with this game, I know you feel me. Spit the sequel to war, no cowards fear me. All niggas being death is reincarnation. Part of a soldier with the brain to teach a whole nation. And feeling all niggas being death is reincarnation. Part of a soldier with the brain to teach a whole nation. And feeling no more.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hit. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulation, my heart, my walls, my mother, my father. I love him, I hate him. Was God, I didn't have him, but I'm glad that he made him. The roaches, the rats, the strays, the cats, the guns, knives, and bats. Every time I scrap, the hustling, the dealing, the robbing, the stealing, the shit, the ceiling. Little boy with no feelings, the frustration, rage, trapped inside a cage, the beatings till the age. I carried a 12 gauge. What they don't know is the bullshit, the drama, the guns, the armor, the city, the farmer, the babies, the mama, the projects, the drugs, the children, the thugs, the tears, the hugs, the love, the slugs, the funerals, the wakes, the churches, the coffins, the heartbroken mothers. It happens too often. The problems, the things we use to solve them. Yonkers, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem, the hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game, the friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, the studios, the shows, comes and it goes. The jealous, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave them the slugs, the one that put them in the snakes, the grass, too long to see, the lawnmower sitting right next to the tree.
Time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulation, my heart, my walls, the streets, the cops, the system, harassment, the option, get shot, go to jail, or get your ass kicked. The lawyers, the part, they are of the puzzle, the release, the warning, try not to get in trouble. The fight, the stabbing, the pulling, the grabbing, the riot squad with the captain. Nobody knows what happened. The 2 years in the box, revenge, the plots, the 20 hours that's locked, the 1 hour that's stopped.
Yeah. I just can't comprehend why you would make a movie that's terrible.
Okay, I guess I'll take care of this bitch then. Let's see here. She should be able to actually open a can of bass on most of her characters, but the supernatural team should be able to. I've seen some horrible ones. I mean, no, you're not wrong. Just for a mainstream.
I ain't trying to bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out.
Flip those, which won't work. Of course not. Oh, she. What is this? Jesus, she heals for such a fucking ridiculous amount. Where did she get the defense up from? Give her something. Do something. Do something. Do nothing. Cool. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Oh my god, we landed a bleed on her. Do something. Do something. Do fucking anything. What up, Justice? What up? I will go meet you in one of the servers. Oh shit. I'll meet you in one of the servers in just a second. And we, oh yes, we landed the defense down. Here we go, kick her ass. We gotta, she's gonna probably have that shit. Of course. Why wouldn't she have the frickin' lens? Fucking ridiculous. She's gonna negate it. We got the defense down. Go, go, go. Get rid of the heal. She's got defense down. Land it. Nope, of course not. Land it. Come on. Yes, I got her. Thank you, Bree. All right, awesome. I think I'm gonna do that. Facebook. I actually already did just go and check them out on Facebook, so I'll definitely be checking them out more in the future. They have a store 2. It's not far from me. They're open. I'll definitely have to check that out. That's going to be pretty sweet. But for now, I am going to take off just that way I can end this session really quickly, so that way I can come back on with our strike time notifications and everything, so that way it makes it a little bit easier to clip that video. So I'll be back online in just a minute, Cynthia. But yeah, for those of you that are watching, definitely stay tuned. I'm closing down the stream for just a minute, so that way I can come back, so that way me and Justice can be ready for our strike time video. So it's great to see you guys who are coming out. Definitely stick around, because we're going to have a whole bunch of fun for you in just a moment.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hello, hello.
What up, dog?
You handsome devil, you. Alright, let me go up
Now, if
to
you know
my
what you're worth, now go on and
information
get-
really quickly. Let's see here. Dots. Come on. Stream information.
Save this team. What else we got?
Strike. Oops. Strike Force. Weekly update. This week was a little bit less involved than previous weeks. I was kind of like stretching to kind of find things to talk about. Not like a ton of things, but I was just kind of like, there's not as much. It sucks because a lot more of this week is just controversial shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they got that one guy who ended up quitting. He spent like $39,000 on a game or some shit like that.
I heard about that. Damn,
you know,
dude.
and then we got, you know, the Shadowland team.
Yep. So I got for the docket today, we're going to talk about Shadowland, Moon Knight, first impressions on White Tiger.
We should do, a pop culture part, like right at the end, on, because we're both really into the Marvel shows and stuff, and they do apply to our game.
That's true, actually. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, so like right at the end of every one of our sessions or something, let's say we'll save the last 15 minutes or so. That sounds like a lot, but I don't think so, because we end up usually just going crazy. I mean, even with the last time we were on 2 weeks ago, that's about how much time we spent talking about WandaVision. So that's like the perfect amount of time.
Yeah, and that's this week.
Yep.
So we can always talk about that, because I mean, think about it, that section would be an endless part of our show, because right after WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier starts right up.
I saw that. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that they're going to be having Marvel for just like, there's going to be something Marvel related releasing every week for like the rest of the year or something like that.
Well, the thing is, with the streaming services, that's the smartest thing to do, and I was hoping that the DC service, that's what their plan was, and they never kept it up.
Yeah, man, DC service went out so quickly.
Well, HBO went straight Microsoft and started buying up everything DC, so
that's true.
They're going to be the juggernaut of entertainment in the next 10 years.
Definitely. All right. All set. Mic checks.
Oh, we also got the Infiltrators event coming up too.
Infiltrators.
For the Shadowland, yeah, like the White Tiger shards.
Okay, perfect. All right. Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Strike Time. This is our third episode. We're super happy to continue this series. I am joined with Justice 3 Gaming. Justice, go ahead and say hi.
Oh no, you just went to a commercial. How'd that happen?
What?
I kid you not. I'm on stream too, and just so I can see what you're doing and whatnot. And just as you asked me that, friggin' commercial just popped up.
God damn it. Okay, well, all right.
It's fine. I'll just mute that. Yeah. No. We could go. Yeah, it's Justice 3 Gaming, everybody. I did take my underscores out, so whenever you're looking for me, I'll always pop it in the chat for you. That's not a big deal. And always, I game every day usually from 11 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm more focused than cheese and saltines, so whatever game I'm playing, you can count on it being like a consistent thing. But now, after I saw the Mortal Kombat trailer, which we should talk about, I am jumping back into fighting games with Mortal Kombat 11. Haven't touched that game yet. So Mondays is now Mortal Kombat Mondays.
Awesome stuff. So definitely make sure to check out Justice 3 Gaming. He has linked it in the chat, so definitely check that out. We'll definitely be linking it throughout. Also make sure to check out both of our forms of social media. Mine can be found in the About Me links below, listed in the panels. I have a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Justice also has a YouTube channel. I think he also has one that's Marvel Strike Force exclusive. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Called Justice 3 Strike Force. And mostly I showcase any of the new characters that are coming out. Like in the character event that we're going to be talking about today, I usually come up, what's my top 3 teams that I'm taking in. Plus, I always choose 2 teams that are usually for newer players or mid-level players, so that way if you're just squeaking into the event, you might have a good idea of what characters to put together.
I'm going to actually change one thing up because I'm capturing the wrong thing. There we go. Now I have your logo on here as well. All right, perfect. All right, so it's super awesome to have Justice with us. Unfortunately, our guest star was not able to come a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think we're going to get them. But I suppose, can we talk about that now? Should we talk about that? We just kind of leave that.
We're just going to leave that, and people
we'll leave that just in case.
Because I think we're all a little salty about it, and we're just going to leave it as is because we're better than that. And we're going to make a great show.
Yes, absolutely. So, kicking us off right away, first thing I wanted to talk about was, Justice, how is your X-Men doing? Your Astonishing X-Men?
Oh, my Astonishing X-Men are absolute fucking juggernauts. I'm going to start swearing right away. They are absolutely the nastiest team that I just got a war defeat. I was going to pop it up on my screen so everybody could see, but of course we got to have that in there. Let's see here. And the whole thing with the skirmisher, you know what, I was talking about Iceman being an excellent candidate and highly recommended to be a skirmisher, and it's turning out to be very, very true. But surprisingly enough, I've bounced, just like any other team that I've mentioned before on the show. You know, your team with the ISO 8s, they're going to change from when you first start using the characters in, like, let's say, you know, U7 or whatever their specific purpose is, to a more final product. And I'm finding that out right now. And, you know, like, I posted a video, you guys can check that out on my Justice 3 gaming video, of me one-shotting Ultimus 7 on the hardest difficulty of the Ultimus Boss node with this Astonishing X-Men team at about 550,000. Now, there was a little bit of RNG luck on my part, but I've been working on developing a strategy for the team between their ISO 8s to make that like a safer type of fight, because it's not a perfect fight right now, but I mean, my views are, you know, already in the, you know, almost 400 now, and it's a pretty good video. You should check that out. It will give you a good idea of what the Astonishing X-Men are capable of in there. But I will warn you guys ahead of time that my analysis was pretty accurate in that Iceman's focus is really low, and going into a fight that's a high focus level type of node, and there is no higher than that Ultimus Boss node, because if you've been working on your symbiotes, and you'll notice right away once you're fighting them, they're resisting constantly. But with this Astonishing X-Men team, with my Class 5 Skirmisher on my Iceman, he's actually nailing some of the lower focus characters.
Somebody wanted me to let you know that you actually just got rated by Mobile Gamer.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty big.
I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
Mobile Gamer is OMG.
Oh, okay.
That's bigger than Reminex, that's for sure. Congratulations, man.
That's pretty cool. I've been watching him since the beginning also, like along with you know, Casino and everything. Yeah, everybody's always got great recommendations here, there, and like always, you know, you always got to take your truths here and there and what's going to work best for your teams. And you know, OMG is a really good one. He's pretty intense guy. He's actually pretty funny. I like his offer videos.
Bro, yes. Every time I hear him say trash, I just lose it. Absolutely, every time.
So
I pulled a Nobu today and couldn't help but be like, trash!
Oh my god, I posted a new meme on the Marvel Strike Force with it's hilarious. I think I posted it on your Discord of that, I don't know what show was, like, it looked like Shark Tank or something, the guy opening up the chest with this gold glow, and I put my 7 red star sorcerer, hand sorcerer that I showed you the other day, like, because when I first met you, when we started doing streams and stuff, that was my very first ever 7 red star character out of like the regular red orbs. And I kid you not, I've been showing you my messages. The friggin' shamrock that's shoved up my ass has not stopped giving.
Really? Damn, man.
I mean, I showed you the other day. I just pulled another 180 on White Tiger. I mean, it's happened with Iceman.
Yeah, dude,
it's happened with.
That. You've just been having unbelievable luck with.
Yeah,
them.
that shit's gonna run out.
I don't know, dude. At this point, seriously, I think I pulled maybe 180 in mine. No, okay, I take that back. I got 1 with the Loki, and I got 1 with Pyro. That's it. So 4 in like 3 weeks? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, so back to the Astonishing X-Men. They're doing wonderful. I highly recommend any new players. You have to pick up this team if they're available at any point for events, farmable. I mean, it's going to be a while before they're all going to get there, but they are so good in raids. It's insane. And even outside of raids, they're doing extremely well. For me, they're like king of RTA. Like, if I need to get those weekly wins like out of the way, I just shove those guys in there and I'm done in like 10 minutes.
Jesus. So I actually moved into a slightly lower power alliance. I'm going a little bit more casual, and a guy in there actually reported that his 260 Astonishing X-Men were able to make it all the way to, what was it? I think the Ronin node on 7.5. Does that sound accurate considering the type of team that you...
I would say that's very accurate. I mean, I was actually one-shotting just about everything when my team was just really like an infant Astonishing X-Men team around 400. I mean, I was going on, I was one-shotting everything all the way up to the War Machine node, and then I'm obsessed with having to figure out how to one-shot this Ultimus Boss node, and I'm pretty sure I've got the new strategy right now, because what I've learned about ISO H right now, which is the newest thing right now, is that focus is the biggest thing. I've told you that before, and with this Astonishing X-Men team, I'm noticing what I've been calling missed opportunities, and I've first started noticing it when I was developing an ISO 8 strategy for the symbiotes, and it's like this Astonishing X-Men team is far too strong offensively, meaning even when you get your vulnerabilities out there and you've created this package that allows you to get even a one-shot kill on certain guys, what I've noticed is they're killing people before they can even utilize the vulnerability. And so I've started stripping their ISO 8s off, and the majority of the team if I do Skirmisher for Iceman, Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee all together, one, Bishop is moving extremely fucking fast. I moved him from being a raider to a striker because his damage is so high and he's moving so fast. He's, one-shotting and killing guys left and right. But every time you do that, and even when he does multiple characters, this entire team, because of Jubilee, is getting 25% speed bar. Now, fathom that once you kill off two weaker guys. You're getting half your speed bar back if you don't kill any more than that. And I've been doing this little trick also. If I see a summoner on the field, I keep his or her ass alive as long as possible, because those little minions, they're giving out speed bar like crazy. And I think once I class 5 Jubilee, now I started her off as a striker. I am going to flip her, and I'm going to save up. I'm going to flip her to Skirmisher also, because as soon as I can get a 4th red star, let's say for Kitty Pryde, I'm pretty sure I can beat the focus line and actually one-shot completely safely that Ultimus Boss node. My one wrinkle right now in the strategy is just it boils down to one character alone, and that's Captain Marvel. She one-shots one of my X-Men all the time, and I'm going to point this out to everybody that might be watching. This team is so strong, they're capable of one-shotting the Ultimus Boss node with 4 characters. I've done it almost every single time because Captain Marvel tends to take out at least one character. I get lucky if it's Iceman because he'll come back, and then as soon as I can take care of Captain Marvel as soon as possible. But Jubilee's focus is just high enough to where if I flip her to a Skirmisher, I can blind or stun the shit out of Captain Marvel. And once I'm able to do that, that's the only wrinkle that's stopping for my Astonishing X-Men from accomplishing a safe one-shot. So beyond that, as soon as that happens, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be one-shotting that Ultimus Boss node.
Crazy, dude. That's super exciting. I just do not have them built enough. Man, you know what? This is the second time that I've gotten screwed. Not necessarily screwed. I knew they were going to be good, but this is one of those times where I was just like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to spend the resources on it, and now I am eating it. Because not only are they good in raid, but man, I'm seeing them able to take on Black Order. I'm seeing people stomping them.
Absolutely.
And, I'm seeing that people being able to beat up on the Marauders with it, and even just kind of playtesting with them in real-time arena. Holy shit! Dude.
I'll tell you, they're in war. They're actually really good in security, or in a security adjacent room, because they can handle that defense down pretty good. Because if your Iceman is laying down those slows, he's cutting their legs off on damage. That's I believe that's a non-raid ability for him, which is if they're slow out there, he's weakening. I'm going to double check that right now for us, just so I'm not, talking outside of my mouth and I'm giving you guys false information. But I believe that's in his passive, right? Reduce armor and enemies with slow. No, that is not raid specific. Well, no, wait. The damage is. In raids, lower damage by 30%. But he does lower their armor, which is a kind of a big move.
For the most part, a lot of their stuff isn't really raid locked. I mean, like, they do have plenty of stuff that's raid locked, but they're still great outside of it. And that's a huge difference compared to some of these other teams that are so raid focused, like the symbiotes, how some of their healing is completely locked to raid only.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, it's one of the reasons why they don't do extremely well when I see a lot of other players using them defensively, even though it is pretty effective if, let's say, you're a mid-level player or just kind of passing that borderline to being more of a high-level player where you can consider yourself a high-level player. And you just need a team with a really good high HP to regenerate. And let's not sugarcoat it. They're fast as fuck. I mean,
yes, unbelievably.
You definitely got to know what you're doing to be able to take that team out. Otherwise, you'll just be spinning your wheels.
Yep.
And just oh man, you can imagine some of those guys, like if you did that whole team as defensive with like class 5 healing, and now you're almost bringing them up to like raid level quality. But I'll never do that. I love that they're one of my top attack teams, so.
That's fair, dude. It's phenomenal. Moving on, so going on to another attack-focused team. Why don't we talk about the Shadowlands? So we just had White Tiger come out. Now, how is your White Tiger looking?
All right, my White Tiger she's not looking too bad. Actually, my Shadowlands team is not bad. I have this habit of just trying to bring up teams so I can test them out and whatnot. And if you're watching my stream, this is my set of characters. This is what I'm going to be starting them out as their ISO 8s. I'm going to have Daredevil out at Raider because a lot of what he does is it's all crits. Because you get all the Shadowland characters in there. He gets like something like 25% crit chance with every Shadowland character there is there. So having him as a Raider just makes sense, honestly, because he'll just be stacking vulnerabilities like crazy. The trick is once Moon Knight comes in, feeling out their turn order behavior in war. And I'm telling you right now though, like I'm having the hardest time getting these guys to win like in Blitz or outside of war really. And even in war, I'm not feeling it. I really feel like this is kind of a skilletary type of purchase team where you could skip it, but at the same time in skilletary's defense, when you make those investments, if you're a newer player, you're going to have an awesome war team. There's no doubt.
I can't agree with Skilletary. With a 450 Skilletary, they are dog shit.
Like I'm saying, I think it's T4 dependent. That's the thing.
T4, I even put T4s into my goddamn Merc soldier.
Oof.
Yeah, I quit. Okay, I quit.
I haven't... Right. I haven't. That's more like a potential feeling, I think, when I think about it, because I got so many more important teams to put investments into. Like, I'm very a raid heavy type of guy. I love the strategy that's involved in raids. I do love every mode in the game, don't get me wrong, including war. But, I am resource oriented, and I think a lot of people, take for granted the resources that you take in from your raids. And if that's not handled, throughout your entire alliance, well, your progression is going to slow down to a standstill. And so Astonishing X-Men is amazing because, oh man, I learned something important that I completely sidestepped about that team too, is that today we switched over to the Gamma Raid, right? And I was hitting the global node, and I sit there, I'm like, okay, my Astonishing X-Men are just gonna, wipe them or whatever. I go in there, fucking Bishop is Cosmic, and never occurred to me that he would be Cosmic. And I forgot he had, like, that's sort of like his kit, comic book kit ability. He works with cosmic energies. I just assumed since he was mutant that he would be global. And so, which is not a huge deal because in certain nodes, I'm using Ghost, which everybody knows, you know, she's going to be incredibly powerful to begin with. So for those ones, I use her. But man, once I put my Black Suit Spider-Man in, or Symbiote Spider-Man, whichever you want to call it, it's fucking amazing because he's putting that slow out there at all turns. He's got that defense down, rebounding, basic, and extending any of the slows that might be out there. With the Astonishing X-Men, that's just a death sentence. And they're doing great. I mean, I'm also in a lower powered alliance now. And so, you know, I'm kind of sitting at the top there, but at the same time, I'm in a very comfy situation to where I'm not hounded. You know, I'm not babysat the entire time. And I like that. And the thing is, this alliance is, they're not slouches. These guys are great. They're like Platinum 1 in war. But you know, nobody's harping on anybody like constantly about although the caveat to that, you know, there's a give and take on that one, is where you are getting like 2 or 3 of them useless people on Earth kind of thing when you're trying to be competitive, even though I do want to be more in a casual alliance, because I've only ever been in like 100% like balls to the wall competitive alliances, and I'm usually, until this last alliance, never really had a problem. And honestly, I don't blame them. I just could not get my early attacks in as much or as fast as they needed to. My schedule with, you know, me being, you know, a single parent and everything, just couldn't meet their demand. And the thing is, they were totally professional about it when they were telling me that they needed me to move, and they even found a place with me with another alliance. Dropping like 1,000 ranks was a little bit of a shock, but at the same time, these guys are really good. It's not like I'm starting from 0 right now, and they are getting strong very fast, and I do like that I'm a part of that, and it makes me feel good.
Dude, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. Honestly, it's so important that you're playing in the right alliance, that you're playing with the right people and finding exactly where you're at, because I've been there. That's what burned me out. Honestly, I used to be grinding every day. I was dropping money on every character. I was willing to make that investment because I wanted to be the best for the team. And it just started to feel like it was a second job. And I'm like, my job is funding my Marvel Strike Force play. Drop down to a lower level alliance, and it's just been phenomenal. I've had way more fun with it and actually feel like invested again. The other thing I will say, not always picking up 4-star characters is not nearly as fun, because then you can't use them in like the red star orb blitzes, and I'm just kind of like,
oh yeah. I mean, that kind of sucks. But once you start getting a a larger roster, it's easier to bear the weight of that. And once you come up with small strategies, like I have my own rule book that I follow when new characters come out, and I've handled it pretty well. I really haven't had to deal with 3 stars for that long. You know, most of the time, I might be missing the first red orb blitz or something like that. But beyond that, I usually can make that up on, whatever event that the character's coming out on. I mean, this White Tiger one is a little bit different since I pulled that 180. So, like, I'm 4 shards away from 5 right now.
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, that's just, that luck has been tremendous. I'm so happy for you, especially because as somebody who's an up-and-coming content creator and everything, being able to not have to spend as much to get these characters boosted up, that's always a nice little perk, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not one for, like, overspending on a character. About most of the time, all I ever do is I go for the offers, because I do want to get that character up and running. And what's most important to me is that I like doing team tests, like in Blitz, and getting through the system to where, are they worth it? Are they not? And I get most of my subscribers on Justice 3 Strike Force from just showing a character reveal and what rules that I might follow. Like, I've been doing since even before anybody else has been talking about it. Like, it's 4 red stars and I'm out, because I could just bank everything else. And, once your roster starts getting large enough, everybody's got 4 red stars. Now you're banking the credits for, the Elite 5s and stuff, so which is really great. And that's where I'm at right now, is almost all my characters are 4s and 5s. But, man, that new analysis collection strategy thing I got going for me is so sweet. It makes me so comfortable to know that I have a plan in place and I got going. And it seems like, you know, I collect promotion, you know, promotion credits like silver and gold. And I'm getting really good at resisting the temptation to spend it on characters that I don't really need. And that's why a lot of my Dark Dimension teams, some of those characters, they spread like a web of influence over all the other modes that I need them for in the game, and I'm sticking with it, which is great. Like in the Astonishing X-Men, it would be a small exception because they're not like a Dark Dimension 4 specific team, but I'm telling you right now, man, they're like a cancer to Ultimus 7. And they just spread everywhere. And even if you have only 1 or 2 of them, especially if you have Jubilee, you'll just rock every node that you're in, and it makes things so much easier.
Absolutely. So I think moving on, talking about other new characters coming out, though. Let's talk about this guy right here, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Obviously, we've been able to see his kit in the game for a while. They released a little article last week. So I know that earlier you had said that you don't know if you think this team might be a military team. Do you think that with Moon Knight added, though, that might change your mind?
It's hard to say. His particular character, after looking at his kit, he's got a very unique take on what a Marvel Strike Force character would be. Most notably, it would be that this character can't block. So there's something there that, I mean, you could read this all you want, like, you know, in war he's getting encounter or he's gonna get 50% damage, but when you're dealing with a character that does have like this heal and attack kind of orientation to them, like, you know, X-Force is a really good example of that type of team where they're going balls to the wall offense, you know, and which I use them all the time. For a couple different major defense teams, and they're great. Once you've invested in the right T4s, they're ready to go. This one, God, I'm glad they increased HP and everything like that from the post that I would say Marvel Strike Force put out there in the community, and I still don't feel it. I like that Night Nurse has gotten some love. I mean, my Shadowland characters are definitely high in red stars, which I'm happy to try to test out. And when Moon Knight comes in, there's nothing in his passive that really like jumps out at me as in, if this character's added to the team, it's gonna change everything. I'm not feeling that. Like, I almost feel more use in Skeletor than I do with this team. I mean, it's a lot of damage, and there's a lot of like unique things that you just can't predict how this team is going to do in war until you get them there. Do
you feel that it's kind of one of those, this team is more one-dimensional, clearly built to beat the Marauders, versus Skeletor has a little bit more versatility to them?
Yeah, like I would, like if let's say that I gear them up, potentially I could use Skeletor to fight some of the more unique teams that might not necessarily be like a major defense team. And I could use them for a, like, let's say a high power leveled mixed team or a theorycraft team. I would take them out there to do that, but I would be very conscious of who's putting out the positive effects that I can steal and spread around and take advantage of, alongside who's going to be doing damage to Red Guardian. Is my Red Guardian up to snuff? This team is going to be like one of those X-Force teams where it's pedal to the metal. You know, you got to get in there, you got to do your thing. Now, what I really, really like about this team in war, though, is that if positioning can be a very huge idea for this team, mostly because of Elektra. Now, in war, Elektra is going to be right away on spawn, creating stealth for adjacent characters, which can give you an extreme advantage when it comes to characters like Night Nurse and White Tiger. Now, White Tiger is going to be healing herself, but she's very attack oriented also. And Night Nurse, she's got a great kit for healing, and I definitely want to keep her stuff because her on-turn healing is huge, and potentially her kit will be like one of those insane healing kits to where I can see why this team doesn't have like a dedicated protector. And Moon Knight might be one of those characters that comes in and changes that for us, especially against teams that utilize one of the most powerful war mechanics I've seen in the game, which is mind control. I use mind control for certain characters, or I used to before some of these powerhouse raid teams came around, where the more difficult node that you would jump into, mind control becomes exponentially more powerful because now you're using the strength of the enemy characters to your advantage. So that's why Emma for me was one of the hugest character gets when it came to Ultimus 7, because she could do that and increase the damage that's layered on top of that, but at the same time she's cleaning up the team from negative statuses, she's slowing down the opposing team, she's keeping herself safe with her diamond skin. Huge. And when Moon Knight comes in and he is, he's being mind controlled, he'll actually do less damage because he's being mind controlled, which is pretty unique. And his kit may change my opinion.
Too, right? Is it White Tiger? I think? Yeah, White Tiger also has that deal less damage. So
you're dealing with 5 characters. You're talking a little less than 50% chance that mind control won't affect the team as much. And that's actually pretty powerful because since White Tiger heals herself and Night Nurse has a really great kit when it comes to healing now, especially for these Shadowland characters, this could change my opinion very quickly once I start using them in war. And it's one of the reasons why that I will be going to level 80 with these characters, but I will do the standard stop at gear 12. And I'm not going to invest any T4s in them until my previous plans for characters are met before that. Like right now, I'm in the mode in my roster where it's a big advantage for me to max T4s for my teams. And even that includes the teams that I'm using that are only going to, like, let's say gear tier 12, especially my defense teams. That's an extremely powerful place to have your characters, depending on where your alliance is power level wise. If you guys are leaders in your alliances, pay attention to that power level and, compare them to, let's say, your toughest fighter on the team, your toughest offensive player that is a part of your alliance to your lowest. You're going to be able to gauge whether or not you should be more defense heavy in that case and, go forward that way, because if you have a really heavy defense on let's say an alliance that might be lower power level, mostly because probably 25% of the players are 2-3 million lower on collection power than everybody else, you're actually going to be doing a pretty good ratio, win-loss ratio, because of that fact, because of, matching is just going to be placing you in that area. Now, I'm speaking from experience from being at a very, top 50 alliance member, how hard it is to find good fights at those levels, because they're just absolutely insane. I mean, some of the shit that you run into is just like, who does this? I mean, I've run into defenses that have 2-3 teams that are just absolutely jammed to the wall with red stars, and you just like, how does anybody beat this? But because of strategy and power, nothing's ever impossible at Marvel Strike Force.
The underdog 666. The whales do.
Yeah. Oh my god, I cannot believe Jesus, like, I went over 200 viewers. How are you doing over there?
I've got 8. We're killing it.
Oh my god.
You know what though? That's all good. That's all
well,
good.
I'm gonna
That's
put
what
this
we're
out
here
there
for.
real quick for the guys that are following constantly and watching the show. Thank you so much for following my channel. I absolutely love Marvel Strike Force, and as you can see, me and Cheese and Saltine love talking about Marvel Strike Force. Stay tuned, because we are going to be talking a little pop culture near the end. I think we agreed on, because the both of us are actually we're more alike than we realize, and we keep finding something out new. I love board games. He didn't know that until he saw some posts about me investing in a game that I love called Zombicide. And big surprise, I invested. I have the ability to do my own resin prints now there, Cheese. So I could be sending you, I'm what most people don't know is I'm a character designer, but I am highly trained in 3D modeling, texturing, game design, stuff like that. So I can actually model you your own cheese card, send it to you, got your own merchandising. So I think that would be badass to see, up on your screen, and that will happen someday once I learn how to stop failing prints. Dude, I did this one the other day, and I'm learning something new all the time. I found this Gwenum statue that I started. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you have my Twitch up or no?
I do.
Okay, so like this right here is like the beginning of the booty for Gwenum, and it like fell off into the tank. But it looks amazing. Like my head turned out really great. But there's like this whole idea of supports in the resin print and stuff. Like there's her hood with her teeth. Oh shit, my light is like way too bright for this.
Oh, sweet.
But I'm learning how to use it, and once it's perfected, like I'm very, very good at modeling. So like once I learn how the support system works, and I save the files and stuff, dude, we got merchandising for your streaming channel like out the wazoo. And shit, if I can talk to these guys at Marvel Strike Force, now if you're watching the channel, know this: I would love to model your characters and do limited edition prints for fellow gamers like us, for your customers. Just saying. I make me an official retailer. Make me official retailer, and we're good to go.
That's awesome, dude. Honestly, doing that kind of stuff is fantastic. It's a great, just little source. It's super fun to do, and we will definitely be talking about that more and more as we keep going on. So, unfortunately, when it comes to Marvel Strike Force, though, as much as we had all these great things to talk about, we're also kind of going through a rough patch right now with Marvel Strike Force. I think I was looking at Reddit recently, and I saw that we had all these envoys are quitting. We've had lots of issues yet again. Let's see, the Lunar Orb issue with the Lunar Orb credits that they brought out, and then immediately pulled it down. What else was there? There was the issues with the most recent event with the power cores. Just where does Scopely go from here? Like, what do they? How can they make us trust them again?
I don't know. It's a really tough area here because I understand gambling so much that this game and whatever they do doesn't really bother me because the core part of the gameplay is there. Like my attitude usually, I'm not pro like microtransactions or anything, but I have been on the side of the artists and the designers and the coders, and that shit is hard, okay? And they do deserve to be compensated for it. And I do believe that a part of the pricing program, like if I was designing it, because I've consulted before, and you drive prices high, not only to gouge the players with disposable income, but also to level the playing field a bit and turn off a lot of those players that would normally spend and not do it, because now you're creating a balance, in progression between higher level players and the lower level ones. And you're still making money because ultimately you've got dozens of people that are working on the project, and they have a salary that needs to be paid. Unfortunately, I've also been in meetings where the fucktard who is providing the investment money is only concerned whether or not the arrow is pointing up, and I kid you not, fucking green. Okay, they care if the arrow is green and it's pointing up, when one of those is more than enough to tell them what they need to know. And, as somebody who has invested before, I get that, but you need to be a little bit more intelligent about the process to understand how your profitability will go up even further. But I digress. I'm not in that system. And like I was saying before, as long as you're playing the game, they're always going to be available. It takes just a little bit more time and patience to get through there. It's one of the reasons why I do pay into the game, but I only buy the new characters because it's like buying a new toy or a new video game that I get to play. And I have been loving making content so much that I just keep on going. But I won't spend any more than that because some of the deals, they just don't make any sense. You know, some of this shit. And like right here, man, they're fucking speeding up the offer bullshit like crazy. I mean, how are you going to go from doing a $25 offer on White Tiger, okay? And it feels like it's literally been under the usual 7 days, okay? And they were going to jack it up to like fucking $35 for 2 offers, like $35 a piece. I mean, fathom that. That's like the price they were doing for fucking Bishop, and he was like a $100 character. I'm sorry, I'm getting real salty on this because that's some bullshit right there. That's catering to the Kraken players out there who just, they don't give a shit about boycotts. They don't give a shit about anything. They're going to end up spending that money anyways. That's exactly what they want, and that it drives me up a wall because I like playing with other players. And if they're pissed off and they're not of the same attitude as me, where I can ignore greed very easily and keep on playing like I've been playing, but now they're like leaving my alliance, and they were a really good player, and I'm sad that they're leaving because this game is great. You just really got to get good at ignoring some of the bullshit, the greed bullshit that comes from not Marvel Strike Force, but mostly from Scopely, because I've also been in management where like they're tying your hands, you know, and they're just applying pressure to the right areas, and you got no choice but to let your team know, like, guys, we got to do this. Okay, we're here to model and texture, and sometimes they're working on several different projects at the same time, and they're not actually focused. It's a tough place to be, you know, when you're Scopely and you're Marvel Strike Force. Scopely, you know, pure money. You know, obviously, probably
Scopely took out folded. FYI, was that the Underdog 666? Was that that what was that game? That Looney Tunes one?
Ooh, I thought about playing that one. I gotta let you viewers know the people that are following. I'm getting constant follows. One, thank you so much again for following, and those of you that are the 100 or more that keep coming in and watching. Thank you so much for coming in. I gotta let you know though that my chat has gone completely bonkers. I can't actually read anything that you might be saying right now. So I can't answer any of your questions this week. I don't exactly know what's going on with my chat. It's been doing that since earlier today when I did my Wasteland 3 stream. And I haven't been able to figure it out yet. And I think what I'm going to have to do is probably just reinstall my Streamlabs and get that moving again. You know what I didn't think about doing, though? Is seeing if the chat is working live.
It should be. Scopely kills games. That is true. Scopely does have a tendency to kill games. And especially with the market of their most marketable game before Marvel Strike Force was what was it? It was that Star Trek one, Star Trek Fleet Command, and that is a totally different type of system. That game is
oh my god
in the market of games like
there we go.
What's it called? I can't even think. That game's more in the market of games that were similar to what am I thinking of here? Kind of like Ebony. I think if you've ever played that one. But kind of like those city builder type games almost, but like it was with a fleet instead. And like there's a way that you can milk whales in games like that just doesn't apply in games like these. And so I don't know how they plan on actually making this work going forward.
I can tell you the most genius idea, and that one raid game did it well. I would, if they could figure out how to do a PC version of this game, and look, all these characters, they're all ping systems and stats and all that spreadsheet bullshit. They could very easily give us a PC version of this, or a console version, I don't care which, but that would take your account and just apply it to the game, PC level wise. We're talking, you know, higher frame rates, larger models with, you know, the full 3D treatment, volumetrics, RTX.
I threw this game on auto. I don't know how the hell I won it, but I'll take it.
But imagine all that if they could just come up with that transitional system where your account would immediately translate. I mean, it's all ping, like I was saying before. And so just translate to a PC version of this game. I'm talking the full works of it. You know, create the current set of rostered characters, create high quality, you know, if you scan them, three-dimensional characters. The problem with that is like there's a rigging system involved that's actually pretty complicated. And you're talking about the texture system also. Sometimes you got to come up with several different layers of you know, alphas and maps like that to get them to look right. But I'm telling you right now, if they did that, take my money. Because they could do a lot of things if they transition to that higher level gameplay. Where can you imagine a celestial battle raid? Right, where fucking Galactus has come in, he's trying to consume one world in conjunction with Dormammu, who is able to link that Earth to multiple Earths through the Nexus, and now, you know, you have to fight with another alliance, you know, who might be fighting, let's say, a key component of Galactus on his upper shoulder or some shit like that, right? Where, you know, he can slap them around and uses eye beams because they're in close proximity, while another team is attacking from a different, you know, angle in the raid, or, you know, something along that level where the nodes might not just be this wave after wave of characters, but a node that goes to a different part of the battle. You know, and you can pull that off in the PC version. Look at the kind of shit that they pull off in Fortnite. I mean, whew, there's some unexpected stuff I've never seen before in gaming. Like, I did that concert, the first concert. It was it was incredible. I've never seen anything like that happen in real time in games. It was crazy.
That's crazy. That's just man.
But that would be the $1 million idea right there, is if they could give us a PC version that we can enjoy a higher level of gameplay, you know, graphically.
Yes, absolutely. Part of the problem is just simply mobile games are the future right now, man. There's money to be made in them. It's a good marketing scheme. This battle pass thing is just everything about mobile gaming. It's hot. It's what you got to go with right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a long time ago that was predicted.
It sucks to be living in this time period, but it's the way it works.
It's got a tank just like microtransactions did. It was a great idea in the beginning, especially when AI started taking over microtransactions. But look what happened with EA and other companies that have utilized it to the absolute bone. They've alienated all types of fans of their games, for, you know, like soccer especially, and you know, any of the NBA games. I mean, even more sci-fi oriented games like Star Wars Battlefront and things like that. And they've just gotten so nuts with microtransactions. And the problem is this casino type of attitude, where they hide everything behind probabilities and statistics, and they know exactly where they can push the probabilities to make the most cash and have it in the house's favor at all times. And I'm very intimately involved with that, especially through an analogy of blackjack, to where they can increase the number of decks within a card system and push the odds even more in their favor. But they also know that players who know what's happening and are not having fun will leave eventually, and the money will stop coming in. And that's what they're doing here. And I think they're you know, instead of just sticking with the standard 6-shoe deck, you know, they're jacking it up to like 8 to 10, and they are trying to cannibalize this game in some way. And I hate seeing and feeling that, because I do love the real-time strategy version of this game. And I hope somebody out there, one of you guys out there who's a design genius or a coder, please, for the love of God, make a version of this game that's a AAA type title that you can release to the general public, because I'll leave this right away for that.
All right. So to try and bring it back a little bit, How about we give the viewers a little? Oh, I just lost my game. But we give the viewers a little something to at least kind of decide on here. So like a little bit of a positive. So I know that the lunar orb thing happened, and they people were able to buy lunar orbs, and it was a pretty good deal. I think we were able to get like what 250 total shards for one of those characters, or however you wanted to disperse it in shards of 25. For it was going to be like $30 because you could buy the offer 3 times. So if you're willing to spend the $30 to buy these orbs that they said they would release again, then what do you go with? How do you split that up between Cole, Obsidian, and Ghost? Do you think you just go all in on one? Do you think Ghost is just that much more important to the game because of what she's able to bring to the table? Do you go all in on Cole because he's harder to farm? How do you think is the best way to put those together?
Easily Cole. Mostly because
all in on Cole.
All in on Cole because yes, Ghost is an incredible character, but when you combine her entire team, I mean, I do utilize them in war, but they're not as effective as some other teams. And their Dark Dimension, they're practically untouchable. I do highly recommend developing that team. However, if it's a choice between Ghost and Cull, the package that he comes from, that is a bonkers team. They're good in a lot of modes in the game, if not all of them. You're going to do extremely well in Arena. You're going to do extremely well in raids if you utilize this team at all, especially for, let's say, you just need them to one-shot a node regardless of, you know, whether or not somebody dies or not. In war, absolute monsters on both sides of the field. If you use them offensively, you're gonna crush anybody that you come up against, especially another Black Order team. If you're using them defensively, yeah, you're gonna stack up some defenses pretty goddamn quick. And Cull is a key character, in my opinion, more than most of the other characters on the team. Because he has that payback, which is just absolutely devastating to anybody attacking one of the Magic 3, which is Ebony Maw or Thanos. And he's just gonna be killing. He'll kill them outright, usually, just on payback. And so Ghost is great. She does go great, but at the same time, even when you get her by herself, she's not going to be as effective. Point being, Cull comes from a better breed of team than Ghost does, and you can use them in more modes. So definitely go all in on Cull. Obviously, you know, use your basic math. If you've already finished one of those characters, just go the other way, you know. But if there's a choice, my professional opinion is that you should put it all on Cull, because you're going to be able to utilize that team in a lot of different places. I'll tell you right now where I use them. I use them in Arena. I get a lot of my credits that way just by using that team. I do use them in you know, raids a lot, especially for cosmic nodes, because they will absolutely destroy any node that's cosmic related. And even some that are not, because you know, you're developing all those separate characters, you can use them. And especially in Alliance War. And in Blitz, shit, you're going to be winning every single time unless you make some ridiculous decision on sim.
Really bad moves.
Yeah, you gotta really make some shit, like a really bad move. Like I mean, it's hard. Like I've purposely tried to lose with them before, and still can't really pull that off. I mean, I can't. The teams that I have lost to with the Black Order, you know, at 8.3. have been some really like odd choices for teams, and completely didn't expect to lose, because I use sim a lot now because there's not a lot of farmable characters for me to go after anymore, but I do go after Red Stars because I get the credits for that, and that's always a good idea. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people are a little pissed about Blitz, because now the veteran players are coming back with a sheer force of will, and they're dropping them sometimes 2-3 different tiers of shards, and that's pissing off a lot of people because they got used to getting those hundreds, and now they can't. They can barely get that far. I mean, some of the scores, if you've seen them, they're just absolutely ridiculous. And I do,
unbelievable.
Yeah, and I do know that some of the bigger alliances, they utilize file sharing like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we did get a question over in my chat. Is Cole worth using 50 silver credits to bring up to 4 red stars? I would say absolutely.
Oh yeah,
But I mean,
his HP level is key.
What else do you have that you might be willing to spend those 50 credits on? I mean, they could I would take a Black Bolt if I had Black Bolt to 4 or Cole at 4. I would take Black Bolt, but like if you just have 50 to spend on something because all the rest of your like big characters are already at that point or above, absolutely Cole is a good investment for 4.
I would go with comparing the red star count with the rest of the team of your Black Order. If you don't even have the whole team, don't bother. There are better teams that you can waste your, use your promotion credits on, like Astonishing X-Men would be a great one. Putting the red stars into Bishop or Jubilee or something, that would be a great investment. But you got to know that Cull is a key member of that team. So if his red stars aren't high enough, his ass is going out pretty quick, and so is the rest of the team. You can bank on that.
Yep. I think, and if you do have the full Black Order, the only instance, obviously, I would invest them into Thanos first. If, like, let's say you have all of them at 3 and you could only pick one, I'd say Thanos comes above Cole. Personally, I would probably do Ebony above Cole, but I use Ebony in so many other areas of the game that I don't use Cole in, like in raids and things that I don't typically use him in. And I think there might be a toss-up because Proxima has actually been phenomenally useful in Dark Dimension modes. Just fast, the stun, Proxima's really good. 4 doesn't seem to like sway it enough, so I think it might be a toss-up there, but I would definitely put it in Thanos and Ebony Maw before I would put it into Cole. But like I said, if you already have all of them ready to go and you just are like, hey, I got 50, what can I do with it? Yeah. Cole's a great investment.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go on the opposite end of that. I would have to disagree just a little bit there because Cull is the one guy taking all those shots. He needs that HP. In comparison to the others, when he goes, they will all, no matter how powerful they are, they're gonna all fall like dominoes. And because Cull isn't protecting anyone. And so what's going to end up happening is that right away, and I've had this happen hundreds of times, and I have the thousands of fights to prove it. And we can go to my character profile, and you can see like how much I've blitzed, over time. And let's see what's crazy is, I got about 63,000 wins. And so you can trust my advice on this one in that right away, if Cull doesn't survive, especially if he's at 3 red stars, right away, the 2 characters, Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, they're immediately going to go. And then, yes, Ebony Maw and Thanos is great, but I'm going to tell you this, Thanos is not going to take very many hits as soon as the other characters go down, and Cull is a key character. He's one of the reasons why I think...
You're totally right. It's amazing how quickly Thanos gets chewed through.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right?
Himself. Like, you think about it, especially mine being a 500,000 health Thanos.
I know! I know.
When he's all by himself and he's the last one on the board, I'm just kind of sitting there like, bro, how the fuck is he just getting shredded like this?
Like when we first got into Ultimus 7, Thanos is one of my dudes, when I was going in there. But you got him up against like fucking characters like Punisher and Daredevil when they had that huge bonus, the damage bonus. I mean, he's a villain. I mean, I've seen them one shot. I'm like, how the fuck does this happen? He's like my most powerful protector ever, and they're one-shotting him. I mean, I got to the point where I was like, fuck this game. I'm going home. I'm quitting, because I was of the mind that he was so strong in HP, and especially when ISO AIDS came out, I'm like, there's no way he's going down. But he does. He gets chewed out, especially in Ultimus 7, so never try to predict anything ahead of time until you start fighting with him. And you're right. He does get chewed through quite fast if you're not paying attention.
Yep. So that actually leads perfectly into my next question, then. It's kind of in the same boat as the last one. Facebook is currently running a poll for one of the upcoming blitzes. Mm-hmm. Thanos or Minerva? Obviously Minerva. It's so who do you pick? Because obviously people like you and me, we already have our Minervas and our Thanos is built up. We already know everything about them. So this is really something that's more for the new and mid-game players, who
Yeah.
do you take at that point? I feel like, so I guess I'll just jump out on this one first. I feel like for the earlier game players, you need Minerva. Minerva just like is critical for Dark Dimension 2. She's so useful in so many things getting up. But once you get to the mid-game level, Thanos becomes more essential because by that point, you should be able to start getting your Black Order unlocked. And at that point, I would prefer to have Black Order. But like early game players aren't going to have access to Black Order.
Yeah,
So,
that's tough, especially right now. Yeah.
So who would you vote for if you were?
I would immediately go Thanos, mostly because I'm thinking of how useful that entire team is, and when you're trying to grab up any team in this game, you got to go after the opportunities, and they are like one of my top 5 choices in this entire game right now because they're so useful in different modes. I mean, any lower level, war alliance in war, shit, if you have even one Black Order in your defense lineup, you're probably going to be winning that war. That's how crazy they are, and you got to start somewhere. And as much as I love Minerva, she'll get you through, Dark Dimension 2 well, in my experience, and I have a pretty decent Minerva. After that, she fell off my radar completely. Thanos definitely did not. And especially with when the Black Order came in, he became even more important.
I would agree with that because at this point, Minerva, I have her at Gear 14 because I brought her into Dark Dimension 3. I'm probably still going to look for her for Dark Dimension 4 just because, but I don't even know if that's a for certain. But I don't use her anymore. She's just useful for that 15%, but outside of that, I haven't been finding myself using her, whereas Thanos is for my hybrid raid teams. He's great. He's perfect for arena. He's just useful everywhere still. And that empowered form will, I even if they create a counter to the Black Order, I don't foresee that team ever really falling off completely.
No, and I know they'll have a plan. They got a plan in works for that, probably this next year. But you're right. I mean, Thanos is probably the biggest grab. I will, in Minerva's defense, I am going to say this. I have gone into Doom 1, and I can tell you that almost I'm a little bit trapped in that where the rest of the nodes, like I've got teams that are absolutely phenomenal for getting, through those nodes in Doom 1. And I'm going to tell you for a fact, they're incredibly difficult and nothing that you would expect. However, I'm blocked by this tech area. And I do this little trick with tech and Ultron where the summons actually help Minerva kick up the healing to a much godlike tier, and I'm toying with the idea of bringing her up, but here's the problem. I have worked really hard in getting my Pym Tech as a main Dark Dimension team, and most of them are starting to climb into that Gear 15 range of things. And once you reach Gear 15, just any character that gets there changes almost completely. They get such a huge damage boost, it's insane. And so
dude, all the boosts are nuts. I just brought my who the hell was it? I just put hold on, I'll know it as soon as I see it. Yeah, so I just put the unique piece, like not even going to 15, just putting the pieces on to start getting your characters to 15 is absurd. I just put the unique one onto Ebony Maw today, so I've got 2 pieces towards 15 on him. And even though it says 6,000 health increase, 300 damage increase with the ISOs, with the red stars, everything else, I think it said something like he jumped up like 15,000 health. And
it changes the character's combat profile completely, especially a character like Ebony Maw. I mean, you're talking about it's a completely different range of drain that he's going to take part in. Because he can sustain more damage, Cull right away is going to be dishing out the paybacks, even more because Ebony Maw is sticking around even longer.
Yep.
I can't imagine when I get my Cull up to gear 15. I really don't. I feel like I'm gonna jump right. I mean, I float around, let's say anywhere from 15 to 50, you know, and I'm pretty comfy there. But I'll just go is like I don't even care about the other arena selections that are there. I don't think they make sense, and I don't see any strategy involved. Why not take on the one character that's gonna jump your ranks further and further, because there's no difference between that selection and the others. It's not going to get you any further. It's actually just going to slow you down, and then other characters are going to snipe you deeper into a ranking pocket. But that's just an opinion. There are a lot of guys out there that love arena, that know the strategies to getting further and further in, and I know that when you make one improvement like what you did with Ebony Maw, you can jump a regular 10 ranks and almost stay there.
That's crazy.
All right, come on, man. We need to get into Scarlet Witch. Spoilers. Please.
We are we're actually past our time, but we will.
Oh my God, you're right, and I need to get the Superman and Lois right now. So I know you guys are Marvel. I know this is Marvel. Please don't jump all over me. But the show's starting today.
Spoiler alert going forward. We are going to be talking a little bit about WandaVision right before we cut it out here. So
absolutely jump in if you got something to say about WandaVision, because we love talking about what's going on right now. I am a very big comic book fan. I'm not, a diehard, I can list the issues out for you type of fan, but for some reason, the history just sticks into my brain. And I'm ready to talk about this one.
All right. So this last episode, for starters, what did you think of the style of it? This kind of like obviously they've been doing like each episode's been kind of like a different decade. And so this latest one was supposed to be kind of a play on some of those shows, like not The Office. There's definitely a show.
Oh, this one was for sure the setting of what's going on. They always try to choose a family show, and this one for sure was Modern Family.
That's the one. Okay, because the last one was definitely Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes, I was going to mention that. I was like, they basically just plagiarized the entire title sequence on purpose, of course. But
yep. So, first things first, the villain reveal is No.
I wouldn't even say villain reveal. Agatha Harkness, I would consider to be anti-villain. Because she's in her.
I was getting with that because I didn't even know who it was. Had to look it up, and was like, it doesn't even say she's a villain. Like all four of the internet say she's not a villain. So I'm like,
she's one of those characters. She's one of those characters that's not necessarily a villain, but has her personal motivations in getting things done. Now I can tell you, like, they can reach as deeply as they want and make it very, very interesting. I'll tell you a couple cool details that you should know. Is one, she's the witch that actually teaches Scarlet Witch how to utilize the magical portions of her mutant power, or just magic in general. So there's that. I do know that at one point in the comics, she was actually pretending to be Franklin Richards' nanny. But
I had to read about that.
she was totally but as I read it, she was totally an actual nanny. That's like one of those character arcs where you're like, oh, she's starting to turn into a good guy type of thing. So there's that. And oh, Jesus Christ, like there's this book, I can't ever say this guy's name right, the god / demon god or whatever that writes the Darkhold is like, I keep saying Cthulhu, but it's not Cthulhu, it's like Cthulhu, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't the Darkhold that was in her basement. I think that's a grimoire of some sort, because they very much do resemble the grimoires in Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And which brings up, a bunch of different questions. There's a couple theories behind the kids that I'd like to mention. Is that one of two things either happen. Now, like again, spoilers. If you don't know anything about the kids, and the major villain I think is still apparent, which is Mephisto. He's a cool villain because he has run-ins with the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe, basically, and he strikes me as the type of villain that can't really do much of fucking anything. But that's why he keeps trying to use these powerful people like Silver Surfer or Scarlet Witch and things like that. And his kids are actually like portions of his soul. And I hope this, I'm crossing my fingers. I hope this doesn't happen. But like, there's a thing in the story where he reabsorbs the kids or their souls or something, and Agatha Harkness ends up wiping Scarlet Witch's memory of the entire thing. Of course, that comes back full circle, and she's fucking pissed that somebody took her kids and the memory of them away. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think in the show they're using it as sort of a misdirect, and I think the kids, to protect themselves, age themselves up again. And the guy who was at the end that looked like Quicksilver or Pietro was actually her son that aged himself up again. Because if you look
Speed.
You look
the
at
one
it.
That turns into Speed.
Yeah, look at his character design when he pops up in that one scene with Monica. He's dressed like an immature kid. He wasn't dressed like the Pietro that we saw beforehand in the other episodes. So it makes me think he's going to have a genetic resemblance to the actual Pietro. That's my theory, though. I don't think that might not happen. I don't think the kids are dead, because I think a lot of the really cool parts of the story revolved around Vision and Wanda actually having real kids, and I do believe that they're super, super real. And Agatha Harkness, man, there's details in the show that point to Agatha is aware, but at the same time, she's surprised at these different moments in the series where she can't believe she's alive. And I do know she's one of the original witches from the Salem witch trials.
Yep.
And she usually has a problem with this group of witches in the area called the Seven. And I think I think her motivation in the TV series is she wants to stay alive. And she's trying to figure out how to do what Wanda did and keep it that way. Because consider her reaction to when the kids said something about their mom resurrecting people. That was genuine surprise. And I think now, after that moment, she's switched gears a little bit and she wants to stay alive. And so what I think might have happened, whatever the situation is that Wanda ended up figuring out how to rewrite matter, and she can do that. But what happens if she's rewriting the people in the graveyard? Remember, she's done things instinctively. So when she went about bringing Vision back to life, that's a rewrite of his living self. She might have done the same thing for anything that might be considered a body. And Agatha might have been one of the people buried in that area. I know this is not Salem, it's Westview, but if they're going to be going along with her character and some of the things that she's been involved in the Marvel Universe, which has actually been pretty intricate, they could definitely do that. And maybe she's afraid of the Seven. Or maybe the Seven were successful, did kill her. That's why she was dead in the town, and Wanda brought them back. And
That's really interesting.
And she knows enough magic to where she needs to keep this living shit going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which brings to mind, like, I'm not. I am of a weird mind about Wiccan in the show, the other brother. Both of which I believe Wiccan, because I don't think they're. I originally thought they were trying to paint him as the Scarlet Witch version of Wanda. The male version of Scarlet Witch, but I don't think so. I think he's that son is going to be more of a direct relation between the two parents, because he keeps hearing the voices and Vision, and his powers even visibly look more like something that Vision would do, but at the same time not the same exact color scheme. And it's weird, his character is a little bit more difficult to nail down of what he's capable of doing. I don't think they're going straight from the books with his character for some reason. Okay, let's talk surprise characters. Who do you think is going to show up in the next couple episodes?
Definitely think Doctor Strange will kind of be like final episode. I feel like that's guaranteed with all the rumors that his movie is supposed to be about him and Scarlet Witch. Other big one. Now I know that the big talk right now is Paul Bettany saying on social media live that he said that he is very excited to work with somebody who we haven't seen yet, who he's always wanted to work with but never has. The rumor mill right now is Ian McKellen. I can't see that happening.
No way.
You don't think so? I don't think so either. I really just can't imagine they do that. But it would be exciting.
I do believe it's Magneto.
Do you think Michael Fassbender or just a complete recast?
Michael Fassbender, in his level of his career right now, I'm not sure he would take on the role, but he might out of just the pure fun of it, because, you know, actresses like Olsen, she's taking it on, and I think we're reaching a time in our entertainment history to where movies don't necessarily need to belong on the screen anymore. And I think one of the most amazing things that Marvel Studios is doing in Disney Plus is that they can actually truly do what video games couldn't do, what movies can't do, which is bring our favorite comic book characters to life with a full fleshed out background and story that is wonderful to watch week in and week out.
Yes.
You know, you're not trying to jam this giant history of shit into a 2-hour bullshit movie. I mean, look at some of the major characters we've seen in the movies right now just get fucking slaughtered because the studios are trying to squeeze their shit down into 2 hours. Or less than that. If it's their first movie, I believe that there's an actual rule that's like says that they got to be under 90 minutes or some bullshit like that. And like,
that's nothing.
But now, I mean, WandaVision is a great example. I mean, that's movie quality effects and storytelling right there. And
you got the backing of Disney too.
And you know, they're inventing brand new ways and cheaper ways to do the same effects you see on the movies every single day in the studios. You know, especially Jon Favreau with his Star Wars series. He's come up with
what that man's done with Star Wars has literally saved that franchise.
The production technology that he has come up with his team on the lot is revolutionizing the way that we can shoot movies and TV shows in one spot. You know, there's a lot of, let's say, like The Mandalorian, that's just done in warehouse completely. I mean, they haven't had to go to a location or, you know, procure permits and pay off the right people and talk to officials, and all that takes scheduling and time and all, you know. And Vancouver's the only one that's really been able to pull it off successfully because, you know, they just love people coming up and filming their shit there. Everywhere in the United States, I want to jack this studio up for as much money as possible before they upend and lose their shit.
Yep. Well, Justice, we have gone a little over, and I know you said you got to get going. So, first things first, we got to give a big shout out to Mobile Gamer. Thank you for for rating Justice's channel. That was phenomenal. Got us a little bit more publicity. Thank you everybody on Justice's channel who came and watched. Those of you that came and jumped over to my channel and dropped a follow, I really appreciate it. Everybody else, if you did want to jump over, I know I posted my link in Justice's chat. Please jump over and drop a follow here as well. We really hope you guys enjoyed the show. We had a ton of fun putting it on. I know this week was a little bit deader, but luckily, every week there's something new going on with Marvel Strike Force. So the plan is to constantly just have content every single week for you guys. Justice, I want to thank you so much for coming and doing this with me for the third time. We missed last week due to the Texas storm, so I also got to give a shout out to Justice because This man literally told me to just come and stay with him because of how bad things got down here in Texas. So thank you so much for that, brother. I appreciate you.
That's not a problem. You didn't really have to shout me out publicly for that, by the way. I was just doing a good thing for you.
Well, you're a good guy, and good people deserve to be recognized in this world. So, Justice, you got anything else you want to say to everybody?
No, thank you again for all the viewers and the followers that are coming in and flooding my channel. Thank you so much. I've had so much fun playing Marvel Strike Force, and it's just really great that Mobile Gamer came in, rated the channel, and finally getting a couple Marvel Strike Force fans the spotlight and attention that is due them. You know, and hopefully not only the both of us, but you guys, the viewers, and everybody that might be watching, that we can keep this game going in the most positive direction possible and keep getting more awesome characters and awesome teams and more things to talk about here on Strike Time.
Absolutely. And I will say, just a kind of little tidbit about it, since you guys all kind of came in probably about 15 to 20 minutes later. I don't think, Justice, you're not an Uber whale, and you're not really even whale territory, probably high dolphin, correct?
Yeah, I buy offers, and once in a while, like if I really need something, you know, I'll get like a package for like ions or something. But no, like for the Astonishing X-Men, I bought a red orb packet, like I was telling you, and completely shit the bed on that one.
Yep. So, I mean, and that's the thing. Sometimes you gotta, like, seriously, when Blade comes out, that's it. I've already told myself, look, man, Blade comes out, I'm buying all the offers, I'm buying all the red cards.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's what I'm waiting for. But, one of the big things about Justice and I is we are not whale players. I used to be probably in whale territory. I've dropped down to probably guppy territory at this point. I haven't bought an offer in a very long time. Except for, like, I bought the White Tiger, and I'm going to buy one Moon Knight, maybe get a little lucky with them and just have them at 4 stars to be usable. But no, we are here to try and make this game entertaining for all of you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys love this game. That's why you guys came out. That's why you guys came and stuck around through the entire show, and we really appreciate that. But like, no shade or anything like that. We're not looking to sell out to the game and say, like, because I mean, in previous episodes, if you watch some of our other ones, we've talked about the things that Scopely does wrong. We've talked about what we want to see change. We've talked about all of this stuff because we want this game to be as successful as everybody else. We've invested time, we've invested years, we've invested money into this game. We want it to be the best game that's ever existed, and we are willing to fight for that. But I think at this point, oh, go ahead, Justice. Sound like you had something to say.
Oh, no. I think that was on your end. But again, I cannot believe so many of you guys are coming out and following some newbies like us. I have never seen this many viewers ever before. So again, thank you so much for watching. Definitely watch my show. I'm an AM player from 11 to 2 p.m. During the day. That's Eastern Standard Time. Come out, watch me play some of the various different games. I play, right now I'm playing Mortal Kombat 11. I'm playing Wasteland 3 because I love strategy games, as you guys well know. And I think this Friday, I'm going to jump into some of Cheese and Saltine's habits. And I'm going to play some Sims 4, and I'm going to make us into a neighborhood. If you want to be in the neighborhood, let us know, and I'm definitely going to put you in, because I think a lot of the bigger YouTubers out there, I'm making you guys too. Okay, and some of you are gonna live in the strange town. All right, some of you know what that means. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, so thank you guys for coming out. I think that's gonna be the end of the video. So if anybody, go ahead and tell your friends. Anybody that didn't get to see it here, normally what we do is we unpublish and post it to our YouTube channels, and they come out on Thursdays. Just that way, basically, neat little thing. You get to see it live on Tuesday and have a little bit of a head start over everybody. We're obviously trying to work towards the Envoy program, which I hear has a couple of openings. So
good God,
we might even be able to get to do some cool stuff for you guys. So thank you for coming out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night.
And thank you again also for anybody that came to view me, and thank you so much again for following, and you have a good night as well. And I'll see you later. Here's me wishing you passion, love, and gaming, as the banner would say. Good night.